Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to hit those subscribe and follow buttons. Not only does it help us out, but you'll know exactly when we have another one brewing. This week's movie's going to be Mouse Hunt. Fellas, Mouse is in the house.
Macaulay Culkin is the star of this film, and he's not in it enough.
Bro, I had Home Alone just with a mouse as Kevin McAllister written down, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Anybody have money on Kevin Mouse Callister? Anybody?
I thought about that in the shower earlier today. I was like, I should say Kevin Mouse Callister, but then I was like, nah, that sounds...
He slaps his little whiskers and squeaks.
But, like, the only difference is in this movie, the mouse is just, like, sociopathic. Like, the movie never tells us why he is the way he is.
That's such a missed opportunity in my mind because, fuck, how did this mouse, number one, come to inhabit the house? Number two, how does it set up such a decadent apartment? It's literally Jerry from the cartoons. And then whenever he gets fucked with, he knows more ways than John Wick to dispatch a man.
Not a clue. Not a clue. Now, I personally, opposed to you fellas, I like the movie. It's wacky, and it reminds me of, like, old Stooge episodes, or, like, Laurel and Hardy, just, like, slapstick, but, like, it has that, like, violent modern edge. Every time they get, like, burned or exploded, I'm just like, you know what? That was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, they go real heavy on the slapstick here. And I guess you work with what you got, because what else are you going to do in this movie? We're talking about a mouse terrorizing two brothers. That's what we're doing.
Okay, so this whole brothers angle, they give these guys so many little moments of just like homoeroticism that I was questioning why that choice was made.
I was going to call you out on that, say you're projecting or something, but I remember a couple things in here. Yes, you are right. Yeah, I'll let it go.
Well, just to set the record straight, they never shared the tub.
They did share the bed, though.
I don't know, gay stuff.
Okay, the whole fucking plot here is these guys, they get a house because their grandpa passed away, or their father, and it's the old dude from the Arnold Schwarzenegger Tales from the Crypt episode. That's all I know him from.
Oh, yeah, he's like an old-timey actor. I forgot his name. May he rest in peace, figuratively and literally.
Yeah, I recognize him. No idea who that guy is.
He's like if you bought Vincent Price from Wish.
Oh.
He does not deserve that. I mean, it's not far from true, but he does not deserve that. He is dead, and dead people deserve respect by default.
I don't know.
How do we show them that respect? With a fucking funeral YouTube trick shot into the sewer.
Yeah, they throw him out like garbage. Like Frank from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, this is the first scene of the whole movie, and this gives us the expectations of what we can see for the rest. You see his casket coming down, it slips on the ice or something, I don't even remember. It does like a somersault straight directly into the sewer, and he's gone. He's just like washed out into the Connecticut River or wherever this takes place.
It's just like a big...
Yes, and then that's it. He's unimportant, moving on. And I fucking love that. That part, to me, was great.
It does set the tone for the movie, which I do enjoy as well. It's dark, it's a bit bleak, you don't really know when this movie takes place. You know, it's like, it's anywhere from like 1940 to 1980, just somewhere in there somewhere.
Nope. There is a very important clue that we will get to here in a little bit that tells us exactly when it takes place. But I'm right there with you as far as like curiosity, because all of the cars look very 40s, 50s, maybe early 60s.
I'm curious what the clue was. Was it like some like offhand comment like, oh man, they shot the president. Good thing we have the other Kennedy.
No, man, thank God the Wright brothers got that thing in the air.
When they actually make it to the home and they're flipping the quarter for the bed.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know where I'm going with this?
Oh, yeah,
shows
so it's 1974.
1974, so it has to take place post-1974, despite everyone driving cars that look like they're from the 50s.
You just hear like the, wah, wah, well, there's Tim with the old Studebaker, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
By going, butter!
But yeah, to your point, Brady, the plot of this movie is they got a couple of brothers. One's a bit of an asshole, one's kind of a weakling, and their pa dies, and they inherit this factory, this string factory. And boy, does this movie try really hard for this to mean something.
So which one's an asshole and which one's a weakling? Because I kind of think they're both of those.
Well, I mean, Nathan Lane is definitely the dick, or the most dickish, whereas any other guy whose name escapes me...
Lee Evans,
that's right. He's briefly in a Fifth Element. Be sure to check out that episode.
Oh, yeah.
He's the more rat-like of the two.
Yeah, I can see that. One more name I just want to quickly mention. This was directed by Gore Verbinski. If you don't know that name, he actually becomes, a little bit later on in his career, kind of prolific. He did all of the good Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He did The Ring. He did a few other things. Is this his villain origin story?
I don't know. Like, the movie isn't perfect, but I'll give it props. And now that you mentioned that he directed the better Pirates movies, there's a lot of choices in this particular one that kind of reminds me of that. Specifically the music. The music's phenomenal.
Okay, that's in my notes as one of my big positives. The way that, I guess, the music direction for this is on top of it. It gets you hyped when you need to be hyped. Mm-hmm. It does a better job, in my mind, of telling the story than the actual plot does.
You know, like a little fun fact? The guy who did the score for this movie, Brady, is the same guy who did the score for both of our favorite films.
And what are those, just so the audience knows?
Well, audience, I'm glad you asked. Brady's favorite movie is The Predator. Or, excuse me.
The
My
Predator,
bad,
yep.
I take it back. I didn't mean it. I didn't.
You heard it here first, folks.
Just Predator.
Predator. My favorite movie is Back to the Future, both scored by Alan Silvestri.
See, and that's something that I appreciate about you, Eric. I have no clue who the fuck these guys are. It's just normally when you hear a good soundtrack, you're like, I bet you that's someone who's done other shit.
He certainly has.
He has had practice before.
Yeah, like my ears pick out Danny Elfman. Like I can name him and just, yeah.
Things are a little wonk. This must be a Tim Burton movie.
Facts.
Oh, we can't stop here. It's Tim Burton country. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
It's a little whimsical, but also just a little spoopy.
Spooky.
Oh yeah, this family owns a string factory. That's how you know this is old-timey, because a family could own a string factory.
Mm-hmm. And I love the old-timey wisdom from their dad. He's like, oh, life is like a bit of string. It just holds it all together. I don't know if that was actually it, but that's pretty fucking spot on.
That's goddamn prolific.
Or prophetic.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense. But no, I think this guy just really likes string and just makes up shit. I don't like this guy, honestly. His dad, probably better off dead.
Dude, it's such a weird character. He's like, look at me, I look like Ric Flair skeleton. Take this string.
Oh, shit.
To keep you two together. I also hired a malicious mouse to haunt you forever.
Yeah, he hired the mouse.
I like it. I like that idea. Because they do say later in the movie that, the house was pretty much worthless except for like the 10 grand that was borrowed on it. So maybe all the money that he just, I don't know, they saved with the house just went towards the mouse.
Where's my inheritance? I had to pay Ralph the motorcycle mouse to fuck you up.
Oh, okay. So the mouse was on his payroll the whole time. Then business went under. And he had to suspend the paychecks for later, just like the workers. Stay with me. So when he was in the hospital, dying on that bed, he's just middle of the night, chilling, watching something on TV, something like, I don't know, Gunsmoke. Seems like right up his alley. Mouse sneaks in, chews through the life support wires, right? Huh?
Oh, then he climbs up on top of the edge, points at his eyes, points at his black little beady eyes, and does the thumb across the neck.
Oh, then proceeds to shit on his face.
Do you think this mouse had like a life insurance contract out on this guy?
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
I mean, the house itself was like 10 millions.
I've never paid less than all the money in the world for a house before, but I will today.
Dude, we'll get to him, but like, he just embodies like a rich, pompous asshole version of Guillermo del Toro.
No, nice.
So let's skip ahead to when the actual like mouse in the house stuff
Mouse is in the house.
Yeah, happens, because that's all of this movie. These two brothers, we already covered it. Dad died. They get a house. They get some other stuff too that's not important. But also, Lee Evans, his wife kicks him out, and Nathan Lane, who is a fancy chef, they find cockroaches in his meal or something, so he gets fired. So they're all down on their luck. They end up having to go and stay in this old, decrepit, rundown, gigantic mansion of a house.
Yes. And like, one of the things the movie does really well, it kind of turns into a black comedy, a little bit of darker comedy, because like, it's just like one of those things where it turns into dominoes, like one bad thing, another bad thing, and all of a sudden they're in the worst possible spot.
Yeah, the worst possible spot is them rolling on the floor in the mouse trap as they choke each other to climax.
That confused me. It really did. Like, I understand the visual impact of that scene, but when they start rolling and rooting around with each other, I'm just like, what are they doing?
That's how they get off, man. You gotta have a little bit of pain.
They're just
Ugh.
being silly. Oh,
That's like what they used to call it back in the day. You know?
Boys will be boys, and he's just over there sweating and grunting and grinding on him like, fucking mouse traps, balls.
Damn. That escalates so quickly. But yeah, like, they're stuck in this old decrepit house, and they're down on their luck. They're sleeping together in the same bed because, for some reason, this giant mansion, that's the only usable mattress there. Just roll with it, whatever. In the middle of the night, things get a little spoopy. The skinny one's like, hey, you hear that? Insert footstep sounds, do. They go upstairs. It's a mouse. Wow. Mystery solved.
yeah, and instead of just like leaving well enough alone and just selling the house with the mouse, because that's what their plan was, right?
Yeah, the whole movie, actually. No, you're right.
They decide they've got to kill this single mouse first.
Yeah, it's not even about making the $10 million, which is offered for the house. All they have to do is renovate it, which, number one, why in the fuck they didn't hire a contractor, but hey, who am I? They go through all this, and as they're repairing things, they're doing more damage trying to fuck with this mouse. And it's blowing my mind. The whole now, mind you, the slapstick, and when the mouse is doing mousy things, I'm on board. Number one, because he's adorable.
Mousy things.
And then,
Yeah.
And then number two, they have this amazing way of, this is going to sound weird, but shooting the mouse, of having him doing something and switching between a real little mouse, running around looking cute, and then this little, I guess maybe animatronic, oversized or something mouse that's doing something completely human-like, and it's always a win.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, because, like, after a day of mischief, or what have you, they show the little mouse just, like, going into his little bed, tucking himself in. He's got a little Hawaiian postcard. He's like, dreaming of the greener grass on the other side.
Like a little half-naked poster of Minnie Mouse in there. Yeah.
That's how he gets into the real mischief.
And speaking of mischief, thanks, I was waiting to open this. What I've got here today is from the Brewery. This is out of San Diego, California, I want to say. I don't know, somewhere in Southern California. This is Mischief. This is an 8.5% alcohol by volume hoppy Belgian ale. So this is really dry, a little bit hoppy, really clean. Definitely you can tell that it's 8.5%, but it's not excessively strong. This is just where it wants to be. A little bit of that hoppy crispness, but it's not overboard. A little bit of that sort of yeasty, sort of tart flavor. I'm just happy that I'm not drinking an IPA right now, so 10 out of 10 for me.
Well, hell yeah. You know what got a 10 out of 10 for me is what happens next. So they fail with the mouse several times to comic mediocrity, and suddenly they go to the pound with this fucking amazing setup. So everything at the pound is 110% on fucking wing. They walk in, guys in gas masks, they're euthanizing kittens in the fucking background, and he's just like, what do you want? And he goes, well, I'm here for one mean pussy. And then the guy's like,
This is one of the few genuine, like, open mouth laughs that I got.
It's so absurd in the best way. Like, I've been tossing the word liminal around for like a while now, but like, this place is so fucking liminal. The dude's dressed up in like this space hazmat suit. He just comes over just like an astronaut, like, yeah, how can I help you?
I want the meanest fucking pussy you got in this place. And he's like, I got you, fam. Takes him in the back where they got this fucking cat in a crate. The whole crate's rattling. They're like, yeah, we done gassed it twice. Motherfucker won't die. And they have to tease it to get it to even calm down.
That's what I was about to say. Is like, this guy is so cavalier about torturing this animal. It's like, yeah, we fucking gassed it, zapped it, shot it. I don't know what else to fucking do. Just take it home, fellas.
We were almost going to gas him again, but we figured it would just piss him off.
It's just a waste of money.
Now, they get this fucker home, and the reveal for the cat, to me, was great, because you can clearly see that there's some puppeteering going on. The cat at first just punches its arms, all four limbs, out of the box, and then begins to stroll away in search of the mouse, still in the box. That's how fucking mean it is. Once unveiled, though, the puppet 110% reminded me of the scene in A Never-Ending Story when Atreyu sees the darkness, the wolf. It looks just like that. And I was like, holy shit. So you give me some good vibes there.
No, I definitely give the movie props for just throwing that in there. Not, okay, the cat's a little CG later on, but the effort, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I think that's totally fine.
But then the movie takes that and goes from just like hijinkery into like a legitimate down note. They're like, okay, we got the cat, such a rapscallion this cat is, fucking breaking the house trying to get this mouse. And the mouse just straight up fucking murders it.
100%.
I don't even remember how this cat sees its end, but I remember that like we only get it for one scene.
The mouse throws it down the fucking dumbwaiter, what they use for laundry. Like, goes down like 4 flights, and then you just hear, boom.
Yes. And this broke my heart. This is where I think I made the conscious decision to get upset at the movie. I was like, no, Kitty,
Yeah,
I want to see more of the cat and the mouse. I don't want to see the guys anymore. I want this focus because this was going to be fun. But he's just like, terminated. The first 5 fucking seconds we get to see it.
Wipes the floor with him. It's so ridiculous. And like, I understand why you feel that way, because like I watched this with the missus and I just turned over and she's doing that like little sad lip thing. I'm like, oh my god, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's no part about this movie really that isn't ridiculous. It's like over the top slapstick, but that's what the 90s were for.
Oh, so it's like edgy slapstick. We killed a fucking cat, bro. What's up? Seth Green's in our movie.
Seth Green in this?
I don't know.
He shows up as the fucking exterminator.
No.
Just no.
But who does show up as the exterminator? Our good friend, Mr. Walken.
Christopher H. Walken.
So he shows up. Hello, I'm, an exterminator. I'm here to get rid of your house problem. I hear that it's very, very full of Joe Dax, and you need me to clean it up. He's like, no, it's a mouse. And he's like, shut up, he can hear you.
So I think we can all agree that at a certain level, Christopher Walken as an actor, as an auteur, can be very great, for lack of a better term. For some reason, he took this role severely seriously.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was perfect because it was the same shit he did in Batman Returns. He's not playing a very serious character in that either, but by God, he's 100% in it. And he's the only realistic, traumatized Vietnam vet fucking exterminator character I've ever seen that reminded me of Del Gribble without it being Del Gribble.
Can we please just, and no offense, can we just throw the rest of this movie away and get a series of films about Christopher Walken, the exterminator, with like psychic abilities or whatever he is?
Psychic abilities? Man, he's got something going on because he rolls in knowing there's a mouse problem. And he doesn't even say a word about it. Like, in his mind, the mouse is listening to whatever they say. So he's like, hey, I hear you got that structural problem over there, whispers to the fellas. And they're just like, oh, right, he is good.
He's like, he finds a little bit of mouse droppings and he takes the tweezers, starts sniffing. It's like, oh, yes, this is a common porch mouse or whatever. I don't know. Probably 1.5 years old. Puts it in his mouth. Slight calcium deficiency.
He shoved the mouse turd in his mouth. I'm just like, he did this for his art.
Yes, because he knows what mice want, and they want more cowbell.
Whoa.
Well, hopefully this mouse is going to fear the Reaper by the end of this.
Dude, that mouse is the Reaper. Let's just put that out there.
Okay. Speaking of that, can we talk about what this fucking mouse does to poor Christopher Walken? Because it's in no way kind. Like, he's trying to euthanize this mouse, and it's trying to painfully murder him.
It's so fucking cruel, right? So, like, earlier I said, like, I enjoyed, like, little, like, kind of like the edgy slapstick, a little bit of violence here and there. We'll talk about some that are a little bit more fun, but, like, when it comes to the cat and what happens to Christopher Walken, it's on a completely different psychopathic level. He's snooping around his house with his extra little mouse-busting gear, whatever you want to call it. He thinks he's getting close to something, then he just takes a look out the window. It's a nice day. What could go wrong? He sees that fucking little mouse on his car. And he's just like, huh. Oh, what's the mouse doing over there on my winch? Oh, that's the mouse. And then he just has that, like, casual look behind him. And he's like, oh, it's attached to me. Well, shit.
Yes, the film gives us a fucking POV shot from under the floorboards of poor Christopher Walken's face being drugged down 2 flights of fucking stairs and out the front door.
And the fact that the movie not only showed you, but let you hear him scream the entire time.
Yes, it did.
So if we haven't mentioned it yet, this movie's rated PG in 1997. This isn't like one of those sort of grandfathered in PG movies. They made the conscious decision to give this a PG rating, and this movie's fucking violent, guys.
Oh man, maybe there is like a PG-13 cut where like the mouse rips a dude's heart out.
I want the NC-17 cut.
Oh no, the butthole cut.
The butthole cut. You get to see the whole mouse asshole.
You can see that calcium deficiency.
Like Chandler took it there, and then you made it real.
Yeah, he just like set it next to the ledge, and I just knocked it the fuck off.
That's why we work so well together.
Ew.
Now they find out if they fix up the house, it's worth a bunch of money. So how are they going to get this money since they're broke? The ex-girlfriend realizes that they're probably going to be millionaires, and she comes back and hate fucks old boy in front of his father's painting, which is apparently ghostly possessed and creepily a voyeur.
Yeah.
Meaning gave me fucking, what's his name? Vigo the Carpathian vibes.
Oh,
ooh. Oh, Nathan Lane just comes in there and he's like, oh, Vigo!
What you're doing is all bad.
I got a kick out of that, actually. I want that. And you know Lee Evans has to be the Rick Moranis character in this scenario, right? Has to be.
Yeah, he becomes Vince Clortho, the Keymaster.
The mouse is the gatekeeper.
Oh no! Here comes the calcium, little buddy.
Oh, and protein.
Bruce Willis busts down the door.
Has to fucking chop him up. He's like, I gotta save that little mouse from Ratatouille.
Yeah, for how much they talk about Nathan Lane being like this chef, I don't know why they didn't just go the straight Ratatouille route. They could have. Just like, this mouse, smart as hell, let him control me and make like a fucking ham sandwich or something. It's probably worth it.
Of all the things that he can prepare, yeah, it's just a ham sandwich.
Well, you can't make a ratatouille with a like that's copyright infringement, guys. It's got to be a ham sandwich.
Well, can you like copyright something that doesn't exist yet?
It's Ratatouille, but instead of Amazing Chef, it's Rat, the fucking ham sandwich making mouse.
Should have gone like 2 different layers of copyright infringement and gone with like a raccoon controlling them, made it rackacoony. Y'all don't understand that reference.
Man, dude, like, not only are we off the rails, but our train has settled nicely in the dust already. We're just wreckage.
And where are we going? Another 20 minutes of runtime. Oh, with them coming to the conclusion that if they literally don't exterminate this mouse, he's going to destroy this now worth millions of dollars house.
Yeah.
They're going to have an auction to sell it off.
Now, I get the point of like them not wanting the mouse in the house for the obvious reasons, but given like what the mouse has done to people already, I kind of get that they don't want that fucking thing around a crowd of people, you know?
Okay, that's fair. If we haven't covered it, and I don't think we have, the reason this house went from worth minus $50,000 because of the mortgage to worth $10+ million is because it was designed by a very famous architect who probably doesn't actually exist, but I don't know enough about architects to actually make that determination. But everybody wants this fucking house. It's like a Gauguin of houses or something. I don't know, but it's worth a lot of money now.
It's something that's been drilled into my subconscious for 20 years. Like, I watched this as a kid, and it'll be one of those things that lives rent-free in the back of my mind. I'll just be showering and thinking, Charles Lyle LaRue. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Is he a real person? He's not a real person, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know where we are in my notes. We don't really need them. Have we talked about the Nylon Syndicate?
Oh, yeah. They're the guys who were trying to buy out the plant, were they?
Yeah, there's a cartel, a nylon cartel. That's all I refer to them as. And they're trying to give like a lowball offer for this string factory that they have. They're really trying to push it too. They want to give like $50,000. That would kind of like solve all their problems. But the little guy, Lee Evans, he doesn't want to sell because that's their family's something or other. I don't know. It'd be a lot easier if he...
Yeah, he has an attachment to it. It's like nostalgia. It's his Pop's place or Pop's old place. But I do enjoy like how, you know, he wants to hold on to it. Nathan Lane's like, fuck it, I killed the mayor. You can't stop me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, his gave the mayor a heart attack and killed him, so he got a lot of XP for that.
Okay, I know we're holding on it for a little long, but like, I don't blame Nathan Lane. Did you see the guy? He was literally just like, that must have been like the straw on the camel's back. That dude had it coming.
He was the walking embodiment of the big Buford.
Buford.
Is it Buford? Burford? Buford. It's Buford, right?
It's Binford.
Benford. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dun,
yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
Back on the rails. So, meanwhile, while they're getting lowballed, fucking old boy is met up with this other chick who was like a hooker or something, but she's got like string hair. And for some reason, these two ladies become very important very quickly.
Yeah, it's just like the
She looks like
immediate
one of the
assumption.
hookers from Dundee.
They're Belgian hair models.
I guess so, but it is kind of cute because, like, Nathan Lane goes to this meeting spot. It's almost time for him to meet up with the mafiosos and sees the ladies across the way. And, there's like a little, like almost Charlie Chaplin bit with his hat blowing away in the wind. He's like, oh my goodness, I'm such a klutz, yada, yada, yada. He follows the hat into traffic and gets hit by a fucking bus.
Yeah, like,
and why are you in a dress?
One of the things that I think is most ridiculous about this movie, no, it's not most ridiculous, but just like one of the things that's like grounded on reality and then brought up enough to ridiculousness. Okay, he's hit by a bus, they take him to the hospital, these hair models are like following him in, and they're like saying things, trying to make like decisions about his health or something, like, oh yeah, he's I don't know what they're saying, but he's just like, I don't know them. They are not my family. Please disregard what they're saying.
Yeah. It definitely feels like a bit from Hot Shots, where like they're trying to wheel the dude in who just came in from a crash, and the doctor's just like, all right, nurse, is his penis bigger than mine? He just rips off his pants. Nope, no it isn't. And like his wife is like, is he going to make it? And the doctor's like, I don't know. I'm not a very good doctor.
Yes, 100%. This is where I got my second real laugh. And there's a line where he's like, why are you dressed like a woman? And the younger brother explains that, oh, my ex came over and we had sex like two animals on a nature documentary. And I literally fucking laughed out loud at that.
We made love in a way I've only ever seen in nature films. This is PG.
Yes.
This isn't the fucking Bloodhound Gang. This is PG.
It's the 90s, man. Everybody's progressive, man.
Everybody's doing it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
With all that said and done, they get the extra money from what's-his-name's wife, and, they have enough for the auction. They can just go ahead and sell this house for $1 million gajillion. That one fat ass is just like, I've never paid more than $10 million for a house. The auction starts, and he's immediately just like, 12 millions!
And then some other guy's like, oh, the millions! And then the mouse is there. And they're like, no, the mouse is back! Quickly! Grab the shotgun, do all sorts of nonsense!
The mouse cannot. Oh,
they can't just ignore the mouse. It's like, no, we have to get up and both be absolutely ridiculous during this auction.
Okay, so this is one of the biggest laughs I got. So, like, after Nathan Lane starts whacking around with his gavel trying to get the mouse, it winds up in Lee Evans' crotch for some reason. Don't ask me. Watch the movie. And, like, he's trying to play it off cool, like, okay, there's a mouse under my clothes. No big deal. And then he just starts to laugh and gesture maniacally, and everybody else is just like, yeah, that's just what he does.
Nathan Lane just decides he's not going to be an actor anymore, drops to his knees and unzips his brother's pants.
Exactly. See? More mildly gay mayhem.
Yep, I see where you're going here.
He's just checking up on his buddy's bird cage.
He's like, here, bro, right in the middle of the auction, let me whip it out.
Is that before or after he sticks his hand straight down the cleavage of one of the hair models?
After, yeah.
And then the other hair model gets jealous and is like, hey, Nathan Lane, stick your hand down my cleavage too. I don't want to be left out here.
We gotta give it to Nathan Lane, though. Like, his reaction was chef's kiss, because, like, his hand gets jammed down her blouse, and he's just like, I guess, all right.
Yeah, the face is amazing, because the entire film, when you get to see Nathan Lane, he always looks flustered or confused. And this is your one genuine chance to see him smile. And it's because some random woman was like, grab my titty. He's like, don't mind if I do.
I absolutely love Nathan Lane. I think he's one of the most underappreciated actors out there. I love the guy.
Well, hell, even when he's given this material, which is like half, I don't know. Even though I like the movie, it has some shortcomings. Like,
it's half ass.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's just not, I feel like this is kind of like second draft, not quite there. But like, Nathan Lane is putting in a genuine performance, wherever he is.
Yeah, and Hilarity ensues as the house explodes, and he's like, "Don't worry, we'll fix it." And the entire house collapses.
Yeah.
And the mouse now has a vendetta, and we get a scene of a piece of string floating from heaven. What the fuck is that?
Well, I can probably explain it better than the movie can, to be honest, because that piece of string was what was given to them by their father. It was like, I don't know, like his first dollar or something with string. And he's like, this is what binds the world together. I want you to share it. And I guess the idea is for them to actually just fucking work together and be brothers and not just like maniacal bullshitters. But like it gets eaten by the mouse. The house collapses. Fucking great, by the way. See a real house just like fucking implode. Great effect. And it just floats out of space, like he said, and they catch it and they tear it in half and they learn their lesson. I guess.
I mean, because 2 seconds later, the mouse follows them home to the factory and begins to make string cheese on a twine factory. I don't know how it works. It just works. And they're like, it's string, it's cheese.
Dude.
We're rich.
Okay. I know I've defended this movie to an extent up to this point, but man, does it fucking miss the landing. The whole ending to this is so fucking dumb. There's such a thick dissonance there. Just like, oh, you just tried to kill us. By the way, I'd like you to be on our logo.
Would you like to be my quality control manager?
It was rough because it's like they did it like a complete 180.
There's one little bit that is completely unimportant we did not talk about. Before the mouse comes back and wrecks their entire life again, they catch him. They actually end up catching him. They put him in a box and they mail him to Cuba. It's like, he can't do anything when he's in Cuba, right? So this box arrives on Fidel Castro's desk, and he's like, fucking Americans always want to, like, give me underweight weed. Send it back.
You know, it's a metric imperial thing. It's the math. I forget it.
That's probably what it is. Anyway, that's a drug reference in this PG-rated movie.
You know, the 90s. Again.
Sure.
But after all that's said and done, happy ending. Once more, I guess. Did they really learn their lesson? No. As an audience member, no. Should that mouse be destroyed? No, it's cute. Whatever. Fuck these guys.
Actually, before you go on, that's kind of a point that I want to bring up. Who were we supposed to root for in this whole thing?
Yeah, that's a solid point. Absolutely. Because, like, the way the humor plays out, it just doesn't really give you any room to be like get attached to anything. Because like, okay, these guys are down on their luck. Clearly, they got fucking nothing. But then they do these like asshole-ish things through the movie, and you're like, wait a minute. And then like the mouse is like, oh, he's super cute. He does some funny things. Murderer. And you're like, I don't know.
You know who I'm rooting for through this whole thing? The only good people that we ever experience.
Christopher Walken? Oh.
Now, Christopher Walken's basically dead at this point. He got his body stuffed in a trunk and left in the attic. We're lucky they even found him.
True. And at least with the hair models, you get free titty.
Free titty. That's all I want in life.
And there you have it. That was Mouse Hunt.
Wasn't a fan. I can't say that I hated the film. I didn't care about it enough to hate it. Watching it, for me, there were 3 solid scenes. I think their biggest mistake was the focus should have been on this mouse and his tiny little world inside the walls. And instead we focus on the sticky bandits, very generic sticky bandits, for way too long. And then the ending shits the bed. You can fuck right off as soon as that movie went on.
I agree with you a little bit, but I enjoyed the movie for better or worse. I enjoyed the dark humor, you know, the absolute absurdity of like what these guys went through. They're like, you know, Looney Tunes. They never really actually got hurt. And like one dude was shot like a cannon out of the fireplace and into a lake, a frozen lake. Whatever.
Twice,
it was just,
I think. Twice, right?
Something like that. It's just like the visual cues, you know, they're fascinating almost. It's almost like some of that shit belonged in a David Lynch movie. But otherwise, the rest of the movie is completely underbaked. The ending is just unstuck. They just fucking crash landed and like the hell with it. We're at an hour 40. We did our job. Whatever. Soundtrack is great. Nathan Lane's great. There's some good ideas, but man, it needs another draft.
Yeah, if we didn't linger on the ending enough, we end up with the mouse wearing a little chef's hat on Nathan Lane's shoulder, which is not where this movie was through like 99% of it at all. It is very Looney Tunes. You mentioned Looney Tunes, it's very that. It's very like, let's buy the newest Acme invention and try and kill this mouse with it. I don't hate it. Like Brady said, I don't hate it. I don't care enough about it to hate it. This movie was okay for one watch. I will never watch it again.
Well, there you have it. That was Mouse Hunt. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave it in the comment section below.
Make sure to hit all of those buttons that you can. The like, the subscribe, not the thumbs down. Don't hit that, but hit all the other buttons. And be sure to subscribe so you know when we've got another one of these brewing.
Get out there and follow us on social media. We got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. We're all over the fucking webs. You can find us anywhere. Podcasts are available, so just type us in. Give us a chance. If you don't, we'll hire a damn mouse with our relatives' last will and testament money and send them to terrorize you.
Is he Vigo the Carpathian?
It just ends on that. Is he?
Is he Vigo the Carpathian or is he Zool? It's so hard to tell.
He's Vigo!